Hey everyone, ready to shop till we drop? Well, not quite. Today's deep dive is going to get a little personal, but in a good way, I promise.
Sounds intriguing. Where are we headed with this one?
You know, the spiritual seek, right? They have this super interesting mini personality test to see if, well, maybe we're shopping a little too much. More than just a little retail therapy, you know?
Yeah. The spiritual seek always has a way of making you think, right? Like they blend psychology and spirituality so seamlessly.
Totally. And it's never about judgment, which I love. Just like, hey, let's figure out what's really going on here.
Exactly. Self-awareness is powerful. So what's this test all about?
So there are these 6 statements, and you just check off the ones that resonate with you.
Okay, sounds simple enough.
The more you check, the more it might be worth, looking into your relationship with shopping a bit deeper. But that's where a deep dive comes in.
I was going to say, there's got to be more to it than just checking boxes.
Totally. We're going to dissect each statement. Like, what's the psychology behind it? How does it connect to our well-being?
I'm in. Lay it on me. What's statement number 1?
All right, here it is. My self-worth is often tied to the brands and items I own. Oof. Anyone else feeling a little called out right now?
I think we've all been there at some point. But yeah, there's definitely some deep psychology at play there.
Okay, so like, the nicer the stuff I have, the better I feel about myself. Is that what we're saying?
It can be like that, yeah. Like we're using possessions to kind of, I don't know, boost our self-image. And there's actually research on this.
No way. So it's a real thing.
It is. Studies show that people who struggle with, like, compulsive shopping, they often have lower self-esteem, so they try to buy that confidence, you know?
Makes sense, but kind of sad too.
Right, because that boost is temporary, so then you need to buy more to feel good again.
It's a vicious cycle. Speaking of, statement number 2 is, I frequently buy items that I know I will never use or wear. Guilty as charged.
Huh. I think we've all been there. But when it's a pattern, it could point to impulsivity, like a lack of thinking things through.
So not just a closet full of tags, but like the whole thought process or lack thereof behind it.
Exactly. And the spiritual seek talks about being like disconnected from our true needs. Like we're
Yeah.
giving in to fleeting desires instead.
Oh, that late night online shopping spree regret. You know what I mean?
A classic example. You're stressed, you feel down, so you shop. But it doesn't solve the real problem.
Just masks it with a temporary high.
Exactly. And the spiritual seek would say we're seeking validation outside ourselves instead of looking inward, you know.
Type stuff.
Now,
Okay, statement number 3. I often compare myself to others based on their possessions and feel inadequate.
gosh, this one's a little too real in the age of social media.
Oh, for sure. It's social comparison theory in action. Everyone's showing off their perfect lives, and we start feeling less than.
Instagram makes you feel poor, am I right?
Totally. And for
Yeah.
someone prone to compulsive shopping, it's like fuel to the fire. Got to keep up with the Joneses. But now it's global.
Right. It's like this constant pressure to buy. And the spiritual seek is all about finding that contentment within, not chasing external validation. Such a powerful message.
Okay, statement 4. I often feel a rush of excitement when I make a purchase, even if it's unnecessary. Come on, we've all felt that little dopamine hit.
Oh, absolutely. That rush is real. But the thing is, it kind of highlights the addictive nature of shopping, you know?
Addictive, really?
Think about it. You get a high from buying something, and then, like any addiction, you want that feeling again.
You need that shopping fix.
Right. And it can mask deeper issues like anxiety, tricky stuff.
So it's not just enjoying shopping, it's needing it. Wow. Okay, statement number 5. The thrill of finding a good deal can overshadow the practicality of the purchase. This is me. Flash sales, I'm coming for you.
Uh-huh. The power of a bargain is real, right? But it can make us ignore our actual needs and even our budgets.
It's like 70% off. I don't even care what it is. I need it.
Exactly. You end up with clutter and maybe even debt, all because of a good deal.
So a good deal isn't always good. Makes you think. Okay, last one, number 6. I feel a sense of emptiness after shopping, despite the temporary high it brings. Man, this is getting deep.
Right. It speaks to that underlying emptiness that we're trying to fill, but it's a fleeting fix.
You buy to feel better, but end up feeling worse. That's rough.
It can be a tough cycle to break. And often it points to bigger issues like anxiety or even past traumas.
Heavy stuff. I need a retail therapy break. Kidding. Maybe. Okay, seriously though, What's standing out to you from all this?
It's like, it's not just about liking to shop. There's so much more to it.
Right, self-esteem, emotions, even that search for meaning the spiritual seek talks about. Like, it's all connected.
Exactly. And that's just the beginning. We'll get into how to break free from these patterns in the next part.
Can't wait. We'll be right back, so stick around. All right, we're back. And, we were just getting into the deep stuff.
Oh, yeah. Things are getting real.
So we talked about the psychology of shopping, but the spiritual seek, they always bring in that spiritual side too.
Right. Like, it's not just about our minds, but like our souls too.
Exactly. So what do you think they're getting at with that?
Well, I think it's like maybe compulsive shopping is a sign of a deeper disconnect. Spiritually,
Like we're looking for something more, but trying to find it and stuff?
Yeah, like we're missing something, but we're looking in the wrong places.
Trying to buy happiness, but it doesn't quite work that way.
You got it. The spiritual seek talks about finding validation externally instead of like connecting with our true selves.
That makes me think about the scoring system for this test, like how many statements you checked.
Right, let's talk about that. But remember, this is just for self-reflection, not like a diagnosis or anything.
Oh, like what if I checked a few boxes? Asking for a friend, obviously.
Well, one or two, it might mean you have some tendencies, Doesn't mean you have a problem, but maybe pay attention to your habits a bit more.
A little self-awareness never hurt anyone. What about like 3 or 4 checks?
Then it might be more significant, Worth taking a deeper look at things, like how's your shopping affecting your life, your finances, your emotions?
So time for some serious introspection.
Maybe. Or even talk to a professional if it's causing real problems.
Makes sense. Okay, what if you checked 5 or 6?
Oh.
Yeah, uh-oh.
That's when it's probably a real issue, And it's super important to get help, to figure out the root cause and find healthier ways to cope.
Because at that point, it's not just, I love shopping. It's a real struggle.
Right. But getting help can be hard. There's a lot of shame around it, but it's treatable.
So important to remember that. Okay, big picture time. What's the takeaway from all this, especially from the spiritual seek's point of view?
It's not just about liking to shop. It's often a symptom of something deeper. Emotional stuff, psychological stuff, even spiritual stuff.
Like those statements showed us, right?
Yeah.
Self-esteem, emotional regulation.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
Totally. And the spiritual seek is all about recognizing that those quick fixes, buying stuff to feel better, it doesn't really work.
So how do we break free? How do we find that real fulfillment?
Awareness is key, right?
Yeah.
Knowing the problem, what triggers you, and being mindful of your spending.
Like, admit those ads are totally working on me.
Uh-huh. Maybe. Start questioning those impulses. Do you need it, or are you just trying to, fill a void?
Tough question, especially when that buy now button is right there.
It is. But honesty is key. And, focus on building your self-worth from within.
So like self-love,
Yeah.
doing things I'm passionate about, connecting with people.
Yes. Find things that nourish your soul, not just your closet. The spiritual seek is all about inner peace and connecting with something bigger than ourselves.
Love that. Nourishing our souls and our closets. Okay, but what about those times when we do need to buy stuff?
Be mindful. Before you hit buy, pause. Ask yourself, do I really need this? Will it add value to my life? Or am I just trying to feel better right now?
It's like taking a breath before you jump in.
Exactly. And to shift that whole consumerist mindset, that's where the spiritual seek's teachings are so helpful. It's about finding fulfillment in other ways. Self-love, connection, purpose.
Not things.
Right. That change in perspective can be so freeing. You don't need to constantly buy more. You can focus on what truly matters.
This is making me think about my habits, for sure. But it also makes you wonder.
About.
Well, if shopping can mask deeper needs, what other things are we doing that might be the same?
Interesting. Like our obsession with social media, always being busy, are those just ways to avoid feeling stuff?
Maybe. We're all searching for something, but are we looking in the right places?
That's the question we're thinking about.
I think we need another deep dive for that one, but for now, we've given everyone a lot to think about.
We have. This has been a good one.
So if you're feeling inspired to take a look at your own habits or even just those deeper questions about what truly fulfills you, go for it. Remember, self-awareness is everything, and there's no shame in getting help if you need it. We'll be right back to wrap this all up, so don't go anywhere. Okay, we're back. And, it's been all about us and our shopping habits, But what about the bigger picture? Like, does our culture play a role in this whole compulsive shopping thing?
Oh, totally. I mean, we live in a society that's all about consuming, right? It's like you need more to be happy, more to be successful, more to fit in.
Yeah, like happiness is just one purchase away. A new phone, a new outfit, whatever.
It's everywhere. And that makes it even harder to resist, even when you know deep down it's not going to make you truly happy.
So how do we fight back against that? How do we break free from this I need more mindset? The Spirit Sleep talks about finding fulfillment, but like, is it really that easy to just buy less?
It's definitely not easy. It's complex, right?
Uh-huh.
But I think the first step is just being aware of it, recognizing the problem, knowing what makes you want to shop, and making choices about your spending.
So like admitting that those ads get to me, that I see something shiny and new and I want it.
Exactly. Start asking yourself those tough questions. Do I need this? Or am I just being influenced by, marketing and pressure?
Okay, but what about when I actually do need something? How do I not fall back into those bad habits?
That's where mindfulness comes in. Before you buy anything, just pause, think about it. Do I really need this? Will it add value to my life?
Don't just click buy now without thinking.
Right. But how do we shift that whole mindset? The whole culture is telling us to buy more.
Right. So what do we do?
Well, that's where the spiritual seek is so helpful. They're all about finding fulfillment from inside yourself. Self-love, purpose, creativity, gratitude, all those things that make you feel good that have nothing to do with stuff.
Nourishing our souls, not our closets.
Exactly. And when you change how you see things, it can be really powerful. You're not stuck in that cycle of needing to buy more.
I love that. It's like we already have everything we need to be happy. It's just about finding it within ourselves, not in a store.
Right.
Any final thoughts for our listeners before we wrap things up?
Be kind to yourself. This is hard stuff. You don't have to be perfect. Just keep learning and growing.
So true. And don't be afraid to get help if you need it. There's no shame in that.
Absolutely. True happiness. It's not at the bottom of a shopping bag. It's within you.
Beautifully said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into compulsive shopping. We hope you learned something, maybe got a little inspired to live more mindfully. Until next time.